How's it going, guys, and welcome to Gaming Evolved. I'm Shifty Cow, and in today's video I finally have my gaming setup for you guys. So if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below, and if you're new to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But we have a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we get into it. So first of all, if you are looking forward to Rubik's Cube setup, he's going to be posting his within about a week or so be sure to watch out for that. And also, when I did capture my gaming setup, I did have very limited resources as a camera, and I actually ended up using my phone, so a lot of the pictures are really nice, but keep in mind it is still a phone camera. It's not going to be as high of quality as other people's, and I have very limited video because there's a lot of motion blur and it didn't have a very nice capture speed. So just keep that in mind. So if there's a picture that's kind of slightly out of focus or the lighting isn't completely prime, that's why, because I did try and use as much sunlight as possible, but it is in kind of a weird area to take that picture. But anyways, guys, let's just hop right into it. So this is pretty much what my gaming setup looks like. I have two monitors, one I use for streaming, the other I actually use for gaming. I have a pretty standard mouse and keyboard, obviously the PC, and I have a full wooden desk, which I was actually able to snag for free by looking at Craigslist, and people were just giving this away because they were either going to have to haul it into the dump or just giving it away to someone. So if you are looking for a cheap gaming setup, that can definitely help you out if you're able to get a free desk or a free chair. So I was actually able to get a really nice desk for completely free. So moving on to the next thing, I'm going to be talking about all my PC specs because I get asked about this a lot. So for my processor, I have an Intel i7 Core 4 GHz 4790K. Now this is a really popular processor, and I was really debating between this one and the i5, but in the end I decided to go for this one because it helps out a lot when streaming, and especially things like rendering, recording, all those types of things are a lot easier when you have an i7 versus an i5. But if you are someone who's more gaming oriented and you're not going to be doing Twitch streaming, I would definitely recommend going with something like an i5 where it's a lot cheaper, or even something like an AMD FX 800 series. So moving on to the powerhouse of my build, for my graphics card I have an MSI GTX 970. Now I absolutely love this card. It pretty much destroys any game I decide to throw at it, and honestly I could run 1440p on it, but for me the monitor price just really wasn't worth it, and I'm going to be recording in 1080p anyways, so I just decided to go with a 1080p monitor, which is an Asus. I'm not sure the exact model number, but it has a 2 millisecond display and is a 23.9 inch monitor, so it's a really nice monitor. Got an HDMI port, all the standard things, and it works really well for my graphics card. Now, a lot of people think that if you want to play all the new games and want to be able to play it with a nice frame rate on really high settings or ultra, that you need a really nice graphics card, and while that's partially true, you could get away with something a lot less. Like if you wanted to get a budget build that's not going to be nearly as expensive as mine, you could probably get something like a GTX 960 where you're still going to get some really good frame rates, maybe not max out the settings but still have them on medium to high. Or if you want to go on the AMD side, you could go with something like a 280 or a 280X, and that'll get you by just fine. So moving on to the rest of my components, my case is a Corsair 200R, which is probably the most popular budget case out there right now, and it's a really simple case, just black, boxy, works really well for easy building, and it's got a lot of space for hard drives, plenty of room for anything you want to put in there, so it's definitely one of my personal favorites. It doesn't look very flashy, it's nice and simple, and I really enjoy it. Moving on to my motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte Z97 HD3, which is a really quality product for only $80. Now, it's got all the things you would need on it, supports up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, you've got 6 SATA connections, onboard graphics, a really easy build, and it's just a nice clean black motherboard. So if you're looking for something under $100, this is a really nice product for Intel chipsets. So moving on to my RAM, I went with 16 gigabytes of Ripjaw DDR3 RAM clocked at 2400, and it's actually a really good deal. I picked it up for only $95, then it bumped back up to like $110. So it was a really good deal, and I'm able to get some really nice speeds out of it. I believe once you boot up the UEFI, you can adjust it, and I just have it set to like 2000 because I don't want to exceed the voltage rating by too much. But anyways, guys, it's some really nice RAM. 16 gigabytes is plenty for gaming, editing, Twitch streaming, all that type of stuff. It does really well, and for gaming you really only need 8 gigs. For my CPU cooler, I went with the Cooler Master Evo 12 or something like that. I think it might be 12 Evo, but anyways, it's only $25, probably one of the most popular coolers on the market right now, and it's really cheap, affordable, and it gets the job done. For files that I need to get to really quickly, like my operating system, a couple of games, Sony Vegas, and just my important files, I put those all on a SSD by Kingston that's 120 gigabytes. And then for things like gameplay, music, movies, all that type of stuff where it takes up a lot of space and I don't need to see it quite as quickly, I put that all on a Western Digital 2 terabyte hard drive. So I've got a lot of storage. I'll probably need to upgrade eventually, but it works for me right now and it's affordable. Powering all of these components is a Corsair CX600M, which is obviously rated at 600 watts, even though my build is operating around 400 watts. So this just gives me some flexibility if I want to add some more hard drives, or even add in a second graphics card to run SLI. Moving outside the case, my mouse is a Rocket Cone XTD Optical. Now, I absolutely love the mouse. It's got superb build quality. It feels very solid. It's got some really nice sensors, so the hardware is very powerful. There's no acceleration. It's got some insane customization in terms of DPI. You can change the entire button scheme, all the layouts, the keys, and you can basically double it by adding a shift key as your thumb button, and then you can also change any of the colors on the mouse. So it feels nice, it looks really good, performs flawlessly, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants a high quality mouse because it is more on the expensive side. Taking a look at my keyboard, it is the Razer Deathstalker, and it's definitely on the cheaper end in terms of gaming keyboards. It is more expensive than a normal keyboard, but you do have all the functionalities you need for gaming, including a key to disable the Windows button, or you can disable other commands, and it also has a really nice green backlighting, which I really enjoy, and it just feels really nice with some very nice ergonomics, a comfortable armrest, and it's overall just a very nice keyboard. As for my mousepad, it's just like a $9 JetTech mousepad from Amazon. It was pretty cheap, and I'm probably going to be upgrading a bit later to something larger because I do move around a lot, and it does kind of slide off the desk every once in a while. Now, my specs for my streaming monitor is just a Dell 19-inch. I'm not sure the model number because it is like 10 years old, and its colors really aren't that great compared to my gaming monitor, but it works for what I need it for, and it's got a really cool feature of having two USBs on the side, which is really helpful because I only have to plug it into one, and it's a lot easier to get on the side of the monitor versus all the way back in my computer. For the microphone that I'm actually using right now to commentate is the Blue Snowball, and it's a really nice quality mic. It's very affordable, and you'll see right now that it's kind of a weird picture because usually I don't have the stand plugged in unless I'm doing something like a commentary like I'm doing right now, and most of the time I actually have it set in this little styrofoam thing. It looks kind of funny, but it really helps reduce a lot of the sounds of key clicking and just mouse clicks. All that type of stuff really goes away when I put it in this, so that's why I do it when I'm recording live commentaries or just talking to my buddies over Skype. Now, this is actually one of the things that I'm going to be upgrading. I'm going to go for the Blue Yeti because it does provide a lot better sound quality, and it also reduces a lot of the key clicking by itself. So with that, a pop filter and a scissor stand, it's really just going to provide some really nice audio quality. So I really just have to convince myself that it's worth it and I should buy it and save up some of the money. I'm going to have that hopefully within the next month or so. Moving on to some more accessories. For my headset, I'm still using the Turtle Beach X04 headset, and I just absolutely love this thing. First of all, it's pretty dirt cheap, and I realize that for a lot of PC gaming headsets, they tend to be $40 to $50 if you want a budget one, but this one was $80, but it also works on my Xbox One, and then I can just plug it into my PC and it works for both of them. So I really enjoy using it, and if I am plugging it into my PC, I usually have it set up like this, where I don't have the mic plugged in just because it doesn't work for some reason, and I use my Snowball anyways. So it's a really nice headset. It's got 3D audio, and I really enjoy it. Also, I still have my Elgato Game Capture HD. Now, this isn't the 60 frames per second version, which is kind of bum, but if I do ever need to record something on Xbox, maybe something released that's an Xbox exclusive, I can stream it or I can record it by just plugging it into my gaming monitor, and then I can set up the Elgato software on my second monitor, and it just works really well. So if I'm not recording or streaming something on Xbox One, it's pretty much just plugged in my living room to my TV, so that way I can easily watch YouTube, Hulu, all that type of things, TV, and it's really just a seamless experience. And then if I want to, I can play Battlefield on it, or I can just walk over to my computer and start playing. So it's a really nice setup, and if you do want to check out our just ancient video with just piss quality, I'm going to link that in here anyways, and that's pretty much what it looks like still. So moving on to some of the last things. For mobile storage, I actually have a 500 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive, and this is really easy to set up, and it's really helpful for transferring game files from my house over to Rubik's Cubes or vice versa. So that's really helpful. I got it for free, and it's not technically mine, but I do use it a lot. And then also I have pretty much everything plugged into a surge protector in the back. You can see right now it's just a big tangle of cables, and there's basically just a ton of spiders back there. But anyways, I have two USBs in the back, which is actually really helpful because I can charge my phone from there. And then also you have like 6 spots for any outlets. It's overall just a really nice and clean setup, and it protects it from any electrical surges. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy my gaming setup. If I did leave anything out and you want to ask me about it, be sure to leave that down in the comments below. But if you did enjoy, be sure to share it with your friends, maybe subscribe to us, and until next time, guys, stay buttery.